In this video, you'll see how to use the URL replacement feature in Pretty Links. When URL replacements are enabled in the Pretty Links plugin, it'll scan your entire site and convert all non-Pretty Link URLs into Pretty Link URLs. You can also manually set what URLs are replaced with what Pretty Links. So for example, if you have a bunch of long affiliate links on a blog post, Pretty Links URL replacements will automatically create shorter Pretty Links for them and update those links on your post for you. So in this video, first, I'll show you how to enable the URL replacements feature. Then you'll see how to automatically replace all URLs in your site. Finally, you'll see how to manually set URLs on certain Pretty Links. So to enable URL replacements, from your WordPress admin dashboard, go to Pretty Links here on the left sidebar, and Options, and the Replacements tab. Then find URL replacements, and click the checkbox to enable it. Then you'll see a few more options pertaining to URL replacements. The first, Replace All URLs, when enabled, will take each and every URL on your site and create a Pretty Link for it, and then replace the URL with that new Pretty Link. You can also choose to open those links in a new window in the user's browser. And here, in the Domain Blacklist field, you can enter URLs that you do not want replaced on your site. So it'll exclude those URLs from this process. And you can click this tooltip to see some formatting instructions about how those URLs should be entered.
Now, just one note about domain block lists. It is highly recommended to add your own domain and any of its possible variations to the block list field. This will help make sure that only external URLs are being replaced and that internal URLs, links to your own website, get ignored. This can help a lot to limit site performance issues. Your site might have a lot of internal links on it to different areas of your website, and you probably don't want those auto-replaced by Pretty Links, which can really bog things down if you have a lot of them. So for example, if your site was amazingwebsite.com, you could add different variations of your domain to the block list, like https amazingwebsite.com, https www.amazingwebsite.com, http amazingwebsite.com, http www.amazingwebsite.com, etc. So consider adding your domain variations here, and again, use this tooltip to see formatting instructions and more information.
So having Replace All URLs enabled, we'll scan your site, find all URLs, create new Pretty Links for them all, and then replace those URLs in your site with those new Pretty Links. Also, another key way that URL replacements can work are manually on individual Pretty Links. You can also enter specific URLs on individual Pretty Links. So when the URL replacement feature comes across a URL that you entered, it'll replace it with the Pretty Links that you choose instead of creating a new one. And we'll see how to do this later in the video. So how this will work is, if you enable Replace All URLs, and you don't have any specific URLs placed on any individual Pretty Links, it'll scan your site, create new Pretty Links for all the URLs, and then replace the existing URLs with brand new Pretty Links. But if you do have any individual URLs manually entered on individual Pretty Links that you've already created, this will scan your site and create new Pretty Links for all URLs, except for the URLs that you manually entered on Pretty Links. For those, it'll use those existing Pretty Links instead. And here in the options, if you enable URL replacements, but do not enable Replace All URLs, the only URLs that will be replaced are the ones that you manually enter on Pretty Links. And again, we'll see how to do this later. So those are just a bunch of caveats on how this is going to work. Okay, so the second option you see here is URL post types. This lets you select where on your site the URL replacements will work. It could be post, which is highlighted here by default, but you can also choose pages, meaning WordPress pages. And if you have our membership plugin MemberPress installed, you can also select groups, memberships, courses, quizzes, and more. So just click the ones that you want replacements to work on like this. So for my example here, I'm just going to leave it set to post though. And also in my example, I'm going to go ahead and enable Replace All URLs as well. But before I save these options so that they take effect, I'm going to go to Posts here in the left sidebar in a new tab. And then I'll click to view a sample blog post that I have set up. So this blog post has some sample affiliate URLs on it. And if I hover over them here, you can see their URLs. So it'll be the long original URLs. So I just wanted to show you what this sample blog post looks like before enabling URL replacements. Now, going back to the Pretty Links options, I'll click Update to save the options. And once it's saved, the URL replacements feature has been turned on. Then I'll go back to my blog post and hit refresh. And then now you can see those URLs have been replaced with newly created pretty links. So if I hover over them, you can see the new pretty links here. Now, going back to my WordPress dashboard, I'll click on Pretty Links, and I can see the new pretty links that have been created here. So now I can click on them to make any changes that I want. Now, just a few notes about replacing all URLs like this. If you have a lot, say for example 8,000 plus non-pretty link URLs on your site, you might not want to enable URL replacements, as it could cause speed and performance related issues on your site. Also, if you have URL replacements enabled, and then you disable the option later, all the links that were replaced will revert back to their original URLs. But those new pretty links will still be saved and visible on the pretty links page of the plugin. Okay, now that you've seen what this looks like with the Replace All URLs option enabled, I'm going to show you what this looks like manually by choosing your own URLs. This gives you more fine-tuned control about what URLs get replaced with what pretty links. So first, I'll go back to the Replacements tab of the Pretty Links options. And just to make sure, I do have URL replacements enabled, which you can see here. And I have Replace All URLs turned on. Now again, you don't have to have Replace All URLs turned on if you don't want to. You can disable it and do the process I'm about to show you to only replace the URLs that you manually choose. Or you can have both. It's up to you. So just note that I do have Replace All URLs on. Now, to add a URL replacement manually to a pretty link, I'll go to Pretty Links and click on a pretty link that I have. And then all you do is hop in the Pro tab of the link. And here you see a field for URL replacements. So just paste your URL or URLs in here separated by commas. And this tooltip has some guidance on the formatting for URLs. So I'm going to paste a sample URL here. And I'm just going to use yahoo.com for this example. So this will find any instance of this URL, yahoo.com, on my website, and then replace it with this pretty links URL. So once I have my URL entered, I'll click here to save the pretty link. Okay, so here on my site, I have URL replacements turned on, and the option to replace all URLs on, and a URL entered into an existing pretty link. So to demonstrate what all this looks like, I'm going to go to Post here in the left sidebar, and Add New to create a brand new post. I'll give it a title, and then I'll paste some filler sample blog post text here. Just like that. Now, I'm going to highlight some random text here, and then enter a random URL for a site on the internet. Say, http www.ebay.com. And then I'll link it here. And then I'll highlight another chunk of text and do the same. This one will be bestbuy.com. Now I'm going to highlight a third bit of text, click link, and for this one I'll enter the URL that I entered manually on that pretty link, yahoo.com. Okay, now that I have 3 links here in my sample blog post, 2 random ones, and one that I entered on a pretty link, I'll go ahead and save and publish this post. And then once it's saved, I'll go ahead and open the post. And hovering over my links now, you can see the first one has been replaced with a shortened link, as well as the second one. So Pretty Links created these links for me. And the third, which was manually entered on my pretty link, was replaced with that specific pretty link. So all my URL replacements are working. And if I were to go back into the Pretty Links options and turn URL replacements off, these links would just go back to their original URLs on this post. Okay, so now closing this window, if I go back to Pretty Links, here on the Pretty Links page, I can see those 2 new pretty links that were created for those 2 links on my post. So I can click to edit them and make any changes that I want. I could change the title, for example, to be more accurate for link management, and make any changes that I need. I could change the pretty link itself, and then set any other options that I need to. Okay, one last thing. I just want to show you a few other options that you have available to you when using URL replacements. So going back to Pretty Links, Options, and the Replacements tab, Here under Enable URL Replacements, there's a few more options pertaining to replacements that you can use. This first one, Replacing Comments, will replace URLs not only on posts and pages and wherever else you choose, but on post comments too. So here in the dropdown, you can leave it set to None, which won't turn this on at all, or you can select URLs, which will replace URLs like we just went over in this video. Or you can select Keywords, which has to do with our Keywords replacement feature. Or you can select both keywords and URLs. Next, you see Replace in Feeds, like RSS feeds or Atom. So in the dropdown again, you can choose to replace URLs and feeds, keywords, or both. See the WordPress.org documentation for more information on feeds, how to set them up, and what they are. And next up, we have Disclosure Notice. This lets you add a link to your affiliate disclosure page at the top or the bottom of any page, post, or custom post type that contains any URL replacements on it. So you could create an affiliate disclosure page in WordPress, then copy its URL, and then paste it here. And then you can customize the text of the link itself if you want to, and then choose where it appears on the page, the top, the bottom, or both the top and the bottom. So you have those additional options available to you when using URL replacements. And that's it. You've now seen how to use the URL replacement feature in Pretty Links. See our support documentation for more information and step-by-step guides on using the many profitable features of the Pretty Links plugin. Also, be sure to follow our blog for all of our latest tips and tricks on all things Pretty Links and link management. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos to see how to maximize your link revenue with Pretty Links.